How's everyone doing today? Today is Tuesday, February 16th. We had a weather advisory day. I gotta be home, but then I took that whole day to clean and move my dog so I can go on vacation this weekend. It's gonna be real choice and that kind of good stuff. Vacation a little bit early here. Cheers, boys. After a day like this, you need a drink, man. That market today was insane. And that's kind of what we talk about on here, is that sometimes you have a super green opening and shit blasts off, and then by noon everyone's like, I'm good, and they take all their money and everything collapses on you. So never a red day, never a green day, just red mornings, red post opening, green noontime, red 1 o'clock. There's a bunch of different chapters, right? You gotta be dynamic. We have 8 great stocks for you for beginners. Intermediate traders, I got like 12 extra ones, so you have a bunch of stuff to look at. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, ding ding kind of thing. And then of course, if you really enjoy this content, I'm not pulling anything off of YouTube, but there are premium services on Discord and Patreon if you want to look into that. Description down below. They get a bunch of really cool stuff included. But again, I encourage you to go look at other YouTubers, other sources. I should be one pillar, one foundational piece of your trading. I offer a very good, specific thing for beginners and intermediate traders. You could take mine as an expert and still make a lot of money. A lot of good options that I can give, calls, puts, and stuff from mine. But again, if you want extra stuff, check it out. It's in the description. I appreciate it. I got 200 people. That's all I really wanted. I don't really want to be a millionaire. I'm happy with what I got. So if you want to join, come on. If you don't, it's cool too. No problem. With that being said, let's get in this watch list. So as we can see above, we have our trusty poop list. Those are our really good ones for the day. We have 8. 8. I'm good at math. And below it is our really good intermediate plays, or ones I've called before. If you're a beginner, again, please just stick with the first 8 and go from there. If you're an intermediate trader and you trust yourself more, you can keep track of 10, 15, 20 stocks in one day, which is a lot, but it's possible. Those are for you. With no further ado, let's get into it. Our first one is ACI, Albertsons Company, and it's a really beautiful uptrend. And we called it over here. I was like, hey, this is pretty good, looks good. Ran up almost 7-8% over here, came back down. It wasn't the full move that we wanted, but now we're back into value. And it does that, right? It comes up, it comes back down. We really want to get a big blast off, but we are at a great area of value. Now again, the profit margin, we're talking 5 or 6, maybe 10% in a good full move here. And some folks are like, that's not a lot. Well, we're not doing it based off of a dollar sign. We're going off of risk versus reward. If this thing were to collapse completely, we're talking maybe 3% loss at most, which isn't terrible. But then if you get a full move here, up to about here, that's 8%. So we're talking about a 3-to-1 ratio. So you can put more money into this one. It's all about risk versus reward, not about how much money you can make. That's why this is a great one. Easy setup, really easy read. It survived. It had earnings. It ran up, and now it's coming back down where it should be. So it's a really good look. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. So it looks good. The problem is it broke the 200. It hasn't done that in a while, but when it does, it comes back. So if you're Mr. I don't like risk, you're going to wait for the 250 to be overtaken again. You let the price come take it over, and then you're going to play it from there. So it's going to be your really big play if you're adverse to risk and afraid of it. If you're like me and like the best value, plenty of convergence going on. Something big is going to happen over here, right? A lot of lines are coming together. It's going to make a big move up or down. I'm hoping up, right? It's still going up really well. I think it's going to move up pretty well here. RSI is low. That's good. Stoch is low. Vortex is low. So everything looks really good. It's, it takes about an average, looks like from here over, 5 days of red, 8 days of red, and over here we've had about 7 days. And so far we're in day 6. So we should be seeing a good reversal soon here. ACI is a great setup nonetheless for a beginner. Next is AMGN, a really good setup. And again, we were to duplicate this trend line. We can see this is much more of a channel than it is a wedge right now, which is a great sign of strength. It's right where we want it to be. Now it was dividends day and earnings, so I think it has a good chance of running up. You see earnings over here, it ran up, and what did it do? It came back down. We had earnings over here, it came down. What I wanted to do, go back up. It has history of being higher. It has a history of surviving here. See, in this whole area, it's a support area. The support line may be lower. Like, I'd be much more conscious in saying it's probably down here near the 230 range, but it's also very possible this is going to hold right here. So anywhere between 230 and here, and you can easily make 6 easy percent. Hopefully a full move will get you 11%. But it's not too volatile. It's a really easy read, and again, super clear. You have your support area, your channel. This breaks down. Oh no, you lost 2%. Who cares? But you can easily gain 5, 7, 8, 10%. 4-to-1, 5-to-1 setup. AMGN is a great setup. Let's check the indicators. Just like with ACI, it broke both lines, both 15,200. If you want to wait for that, go ahead. You can see every time it breaks both, it makes money. Even if it's a small amount of money, right? Even over here, you still would have gotten at least broke even, at least. So if you want to wait for that, that's a great strategy. I like to get the best value. So I go in probably a little bit too early for a lot of people. That's okay. RSI is low. That's great. Stoch is low. That's great. Vortex is low. It could be a tad bit lower, but I think it's kind of doing one of these where it kind of goes back and forth and it takes over green. So we may see some consolidation. Last time it consolidated took 23 days. We're in about day 14. So, it could take a good amount of time over here. This consolidation took 19 days. So again, we have probably 2-3 days of watching AMGN, but once it gets going and reverses, it'll be a really good pickup for sure. I like it a lot. So next is CHRS, Corius Biosciences. Again, if it's a biotech, technologies, therapeutics, make sure you do your own fundamental research on what it does, because these plays have a tendency to blow up or blow down. It's come right down to the volume line. It came down, poured right into where we wanted to buy it, and now it's up about 2%, 3%, showing some life. It's a great value. Now again, you would rather have it a little bit lower. Maybe you want to get it, 17 instead of 1744, but it's still a really, really good setup nonetheless. Could easily take 2 or 3. Like this reversal took 10 days. This one took 20. This one over here took 17. This one even here took 4. So we're in day 1. This may need some time, but this thing also has a history of also tapping and then taking off. So you may get caught consolidating. Could be smart to then take your funds out. And if it starts consolidating, buy as low as possible. But CHRS is a great set nonetheless. Let's check the indicators. So the RSI is super low, Stoch super low, Vortex is super low. Again, do your fundamental research. Is there earnings coming? Is there a FDA thing we don't know about? Is there a science thing we don't know about? Do your research why it tanked off. But again, it's tanked off before. It's come up and come down, just not this steep. But still a great value nonetheless. It just needs to break both EMA lines moving forward, but it's such a good value, I would still take it. CHRS is a great setup. Next is IAG. We've called it before, and it's been in this channel for the longest. And again, stocks can do 3 things: ascend, descend, and consolidate. Ascend, descend, consolidate. Now we're at the bottom. It's only $3.34, so you bottom out probably 5% away at worst. So it has a little bit of room to drop, but at the same time, it has really good volume. Surprisingly, it had 6 million today. Folks are just selling off today. So if it comes down any farther, to about $3.30, definitely buy in. But this thing's upward potential is pretty stupidly crazy. So great area of value. You'll want to get as close to 330 as possible, but you don't want to miss the move. So it comes down to your own risk management policy. Definitely getting lower and lower. But as we can see, it's also recently broken this downtrend into consolidation now technically. So really good setup. I like it a lot. It's just a great value nonetheless. Let's check the indicators. So it's been trying to break that 200 for the longest, for like 6 months now. And it still hasn't broken above it technically. Now again, when you get above both EMA lines, you would have made 2%. So this isn't a great example of when that happens. Now you would have had 8% over here. But this is definitely a get the best value where you can kind of play. It's definitely at a support or support area. I can't say getting lower than this. RSI is super low, Stoch super low, Vortex super low. It all pointing towards at least a small term investment getting a lot of returns off of it. But nothing saying it can't pull one of these again. A good build up to earnings. And every time it's had earnings, it has gone up. Now I wouldn't bet my money on that, but with earnings right around the corner, it's not a bad step to think about. But IAG, it's a good setup nonetheless. NGD is what we call a tease. We had our trend line over here, and I was like, boys, look at this, and it went kerchoo, and we're like, oh shit, we in the money, and then it came back down, and we played it again, and we got burned. So it happens to the best of us. It's definitely still technically downtrending. You can see all this is still underneath this little umbrella move here, but it's at a great value, and this is why we play these. It's at a great support area, which you have to make your own lines. Do you think it's going to be a little bit lower, like down here? Maybe yours is like right about here. Maybe yours is up here, now it's net resistance. It's your opinion, right? But it's definitely in this support area. Trend line is right here. Worst case, if it breaks, really bad, okay, you lost 2.5%. You buy in, at 163, or maybe you wait for a drop down to 155. It's up to you. It's definitely ascending in some way, shape, or form. See how it's constantly going up? Like these are all higher lows. So every single time it's come down here, it's had a higher low, including right here. So I think this may be a good spot to buy in nonetheless. I'll follow these moves, even this move. This was still higher than this. It's been higher lows across the board. It may come down a tiny bit more into the 160s, but this is a fantastic setup nonetheless. Even if it's a horizontal channel play, you're still getting a good value. Looks really good. Let's check the indicators. So for the longest, again, trying to break the 50 and the 200. It's not doing that, but when it does take it over, sheesh, making some good money on these plays. So when it does both of those things, you can easily make 29, 30, 20%. So you want to wait for that. That's great. I'm going to try and buy in as soon as possible on a good sign of life. RSI is low, stock low, Vortex low. Again, a really good setup. I like it a lot. Just check the earnings because it says it has one coming at 219. That's in 3 days. It may be really good or really bad. But let's get a few days and see what happens. But MGD is a great setup. Next is Rare, R-A-R-E. I like my tickers like I like my steaks. Rare. Right. So, if you like anything more than medium well steaks, you're not American. I'm sorry, you should move. No, I'm kidding. It's okay. But it's still disgusting. It's okay, but it's gross. I'm talking to my fiance. She eats well done steak, and it's a travesty. If you put ketchup on your steak too, unsubscribe. Now. So it's a pharmaceutical play. Make sure you know what's going on. But look at this. You guys, what did gaps like to have done? Fillings. So gaps get filled, they gap down. It's a great sign going forward. It's going to make some money. Even over here. See how it gapped? It was like, see ya, and what appeared to what to do? It went doop and tapped that and kept going. So this is a nice looking gap. Good gap. So, I think Evil Knievel could jump that pretty easily. Looking really good. Great area. Support areas right there. Channel worst case, you lose 3 or 4% if it really breaks down. If it comes down to this volume line and lives tight, you can just buy in there and you sell, buy in and grind it all the way back up. But I have a good hunch it's going to at least fill this gap at least. It's a really good setup. Super good trend line. Look back historically. It's just been on a tear over this last year and a half, looking really good. It's pushing all-time highs. So again, is it the best deal ever? No, on a large scale, it's really not. But if you look at it in the 180-day, yeah, you have very low risk here. If it does come collapsing back down, we'll buy in later. But Rare is a really good setup. Let's check the indicators. So it just broke the 50. It's done that before. It's always come back. So let's not freak out, but let's be smart people. This reversal took 9 days. This one underneath took 12 days. This one took 5 days. We're in day 4, so there's a good chance this may take a few days to really crack back above it. It's pushing above the 200, which is okay. It's holding that. That's a great sign. RSI is low. Stock is low. Vortex is low. Everything points to a really good looking reversal here. I like it a lot. Just make sure the fundamentals make sense, but Rare is a great setup. Next is Ride, which is the Lordstown Motors Corporation. That's a cool name. So this was looking like a wedge a little bit, but now it's kind of looking more like a channel. So that's a really good look that it kind of came all the way up here. It could also be an ascending channel. It just depends on what you think it is. It's in a triangle possibly. Well, could be almost anything, but this line is now worthless because it's broken above that. So you could even say this is developing into a wedge here, but you got plenty of room. It's right where you want it to be. It's literally at the best price you want it to be at. You can even say that your support line, if TOS wants me to let me move this one, I guess it doesn't, over here maybe? It's the dumb part about TOS. That line's on here forever now. So the support area is anywhere in here, $25 to $24, anywhere in here. It's a good support. The channel's right here. It's at the bottom of it. Easily can make 10% an easy good move. Easily can push 20%. It's a fantastic setup. A1 setup. I love it a lot. Make sure you know what Ride's doing because they do have a question mark. They have earnings on. Yeah, you got time for earnings. You got a little bit of time to make up for here. But RIDE is a great setup. Let's check the indicators. And it's bouncing off the 200 like clockwork. If it does break it, you know, I'm not going to freak out. It would take maybe 6 days. Over here, it took a good amount of time, but this move right here took about 2 days. So if it does break down, let's not freak out. But it's holding very well here. The RSI is super low. Stoch super low. Vortex super low. An A1 setup. If this thing's gonna, if ANTES are gonna live, it should be Ride. Honestly, it's a great area of value. Give it a day, see what it does. But if it's green tomorrow, you could easily see a 6, 7, 8% day from this. Ride's a great setup. I love Surf. This and PSNL has just been like clockwork off the 200, and this one's been more off of the trend line. But PSNL off that 200 EMA line has been sexual. And here we are again. Some folks are like, it's making a new trend line, and I was like, I don't know, man. We'll see. Well, it's right here again, so it's looking really good. Looking like a whole snack. You know, it's had lower highs before, and it's done just fine. I'm not freaking out yet. And if we turn on volume profile, you want to see something real quick? Uh-oh. Bwah, 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 bwah. Average volume has moved up. 70% volume has moved up. So we have a really good area of value that's now been shown that people will pay more for it and sell it at a higher price, showing some good life. This has moved up. It's a great sign. Looking really good here. You could easily make 10, 20, 30%. Anyone who's played Surf with me, a 6%, 7% day is, you know, it's pretty often. And you could easily take your channel here and be like, well, I think it's more like this, right? And that's totally fine. You want to kind of angle it and move it around a little bit. Try and fit it. You can. I would probably give it one more day, just from the experience I had with the stock. You know, you don't want to cheat. Give it a day. If it's really green tomorrow, yeah, buy in and maybe day trade it. You got, you know, one less day. So the PDT rule, you have one day trade a day, basically, minus maybe a Friday. You want to waste it on Surf, it's a great setup. Let's check the indicators. So again, it bounced off the 200 like a fucking machine. Like, folks are like, oh, I like these kinds of plays. These are rarities. This is not going to last forever, but it's been lasting almost a year. I've been playing it almost a year, and I've netted easily close to 200, 300% from the stock alone. Like, it's been bananas, dude. Like, I've done this. Anyone who watches me on my TikTok, not TikTok, on my Discord chats when I was in the other ones, I was like, hey, Surf's good again. Hey, Surf's good again. Hey, PSNL's good again. You know, why overcomplicate it? That's a fine line right here. If it breaks a 50 tomorrow, go long. RSI is low. Stoch is low. Now the stock is not showing any kind of divergences, and Vortex is low. We'll probably see some red for the next, you know, let's see. Looking for maybe 8-day reversal. Looking for a 8-day reversal, and we're in day 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So about 8-day reversal time. So we got a little bit of time here, but Surf is such a great setup. I love it a lot. If you're a beginner, please pause and stop the video. There's no reason you need to have another 10 plays to watch tomorrow. You have 8 really good ones. Ride is such a snack. NGD, super low risk. ACI, super low risk. Surf is always good, right? You have plenty of plays you can do. I explain this to a lot of people. I'm explaining to you really quick. Do you watch sports? I watch sports. When I watch sports, does Chris Paul go for a lot of rebounds? No. Do pitchers go for a bunch of home runs? No. Do goalies play forward? No. What am I trying to say? There's absolutely no reason, if you're a beginner trader or even an early intermediate trader, to be playing 20 different setups, right? There's no reason to have 30 different stocks to watch. Find 5 stocks that do the same thing, right? They're all like, oh, these are upward channels. All right, then find 5 upward channels and play them really well. Get really good at one thing. I'm really good at setting triangles and channel ups and horizontal triangles. I have like 4 things I do at this point, and that's all I do. I find good value, I buy in, I go along. I win more than I lose. My winners are bigger than my losses. I win. That's all I do, right? But you need to stop trying to do everything at the same time. Find 1 or 2 things that you like and stick with that. Intermediate traders, if you like what I'm saying and you got some more in you, I got some more stocks for you. Let's check them out. So if you're new here, new kid, I don't turn off my indicators during the intermediate section just because it takes forever. CAG is definitely a descending wedge. Now, it's also only tapped twice, so you could even take this and say it's actually a broadening wedge, and those also don't last forever. This will not last forever. Is this a good value? Sure. This could easily be considered a horizontal channel as well. Great value, easily can make 10%. It's just that it's descending. You know, we have low, high, a possible higher low. That's a good sign. But given the full context, I want to get in at 32, most possibly the best move here. But if it can take the 50 and the 200 at any of these given times, I like it a lot. It's just an okay setting. It's pretty good. If you're an intermediate trader, watch list it and give it an eye. Next is CERN. I freaking hate earnings. This is the worst time of year because there's absolutely no consistency. Everything gets blasted. I'm sure most of you guys are experiencing that, where like one stock gets blasted, everyone jumps off ship, and then all the compatriots that in the same exact sector get destroyed as well. It's just been a rough week of earnings. So CERN got the absolute shit kicked out of it by earnings. I don't know what they did wrong, but damn, they upset somebody. Every reaction's an overreaction. It should be coming back up soon. It's near the POC, so it may consolidate, but put a pin in CERN. I don't know what they did wrong, boy, but they were doing just fine a little bit ago. They took like a 12% hit today, man. Watch what they're going to do. It could be worse, but, you know, they're falling right into the support area. Could be a good value. So ED is a super easy read. It's just been climbing up steadily here. It's been doing a really good job of just falling off, and we called it over here. It's like, you know, it's showing some life, and it looked pretty good. This is definitely when you want to wait for the 200 and the 50 be overtaken, which will only be 3% you're giving up. So once it takes over both these lines, for sure, you want to go long. And even if it does it and it gets exhausted, you made 3%. Even if it does it and it gets exhausted, you made 3%. So worst case, will break even. Best case, you get a move like this. So ED needs to be on your watch list. Is it the best play? No, but it's definitely at value. You know, it's at the bottom, trend lining up, near support. Worst case, you lose a percent or two. It's a good setup. I swear to God, and all that I love, if FLXN doesn't do anything, I'm going to freak. So it's definitely in this area of value. I've been calling it saying, let's see what it's going to do. Let's see what it's going to do. And now it's finally showing one green boy here. Now it has plenty of room to run up. It has super high potential. It may get lower. It may get lower. It does have higher lows across the board, though. And I don't know how much damn close you can get. You're about 20% away. So that would be your risk. You know, it has a few where it kind of dips down, but it's done a really good job. And it may get a little bit lower. You know, it could be. But watch it, FLXN. It needs to do something before I freak out. No, it's a good play, though. Hey guys, look, it's FLXN's brother, FSLR, who else needs to do something. It's riding the two. I called it. I was like, hey, it's riding the 200. And it went up, and I was like, oh, here we go, boys, and then tanked the next day. So here we are again. This trend line has been holding beautifully. It's at the 200. It looks beautiful. I'll call it again, but it just takes forever. I want 5% at least on this one, hopefully 10. I've called it a bunch of times with FSLR is a good setup. HCAT reminds me a lot of H-lit. Just running it up off the 200, or off the 50 EMA line, sorry. And it's like a big wave, right? When we see the RSI get to about, 48, it reverses. It was just at 52. Stock is low. Vortex doesn't want to cross too hard. Again, just wait for it to show some life. You have one green candle. If we see a big one, go long. If it breaks confirmation, easy can make you 4 or 5%. It's just been on a tear recently. Will this last forever? Nope. But will it last maybe hopefully one more good move? Yup. HCAT is a good medium setup. Look at this. Isn't this great charting? No. So you want to take this and move it down a tiny bit, then you can zoom in. You can see with... it's horrible. I hate this big stupid chart thing. So NTES has a really, really obviously good uptrend. Right here, as we can see, that's what we're playing off of. And it's not the greatest because of the big spike, but it's bouncing off the 50 almost perfectly. So if you have your charting, you can probably do like a 30-day chart and just cut all that out. Look at that. Fucking beautiful. So it's bouncing off super well to support area. Easily can run up 11%. It would be a A1 setup. You know, RSI is definitely there. Stock is there. Vortex is there. But just because the charting is all goofed up because of this big idiot stick candle right here where it got jumped up incredibly hard of some jackass who wanted to put some call or put over here. You know, jerks. It's not a great setup chart-wise, but, you know, looking at this, it's beautiful. NTES is a gorgeous setup. I'm not going to harp on OCFT. This is a easy to read channel. We've called it before. I was like, hey, it's looking pretty good. Hey, it's looking pretty good. Right? It's trying to break the 50. If you want to wait for risk and wait for it to crush both these EMA lines, you leave 4% on the table. But then you should see a move of at least 4 more percent, hopefully 13% more. Easy read, easy channel. It survived earnings. This will not last forever, right? There's no chance. But if it can hold this golden channel again where it's at, you have very low risk here. Maybe 2 or 3% if it really dies on you. OCFT is a great pickup. Next is PBW. It has a great channel up. It just can't break above this volume line. And so again, you may see an easy 9-10% play tomorrow, but you also can see it could come back down pretty hard. Now, it has no sign of slowing down. You can look, it has no sign of slowing down. It's just been on this big old tear. What do they do? I don't know. You gotta look into it. But it's a great setup. Really easy, no risk play here. If it dies, you lost 4%. You gotta risk it for the biscuit. So PBW, a great setup nonetheless. SWI, I called it over here. I was like, it looks pretty good. And it went up like, you know, 10%, which is what a lot of folks want. That's all you really need. And it can't break the 200. Now, the 50 is getting close to taking over the 200. We need one more good push. We need another good 7-8%. And then retest and take off. So it's getting there. They're trying to get their reputation back since that security briefing thing. All the indicators look really good. SWI is a great setup. It just, you know, get away for that crossover to really happen. You have a lot of good profit in the long term. UPLD, it's finally in its channel, and of course, as soon as I see it, it bounces out of it. It just bounces off the 50. Easily can make you 4 or 5% in a few days. This thing just melts up. Just drips up slowly. Super easy, low risk play if it does die here. God forbid you lost 3%. Oh no, you know, your wife's gonna kill you. You know, worry until the kids. No new clothes. No, this is really easy, no risk play. Really simple read. I like it a lot. And last is USAS. USAS is a great setup if we could have gotten at 256. Now, I was driving today. I didn't see it. It would have been up 7% since then. You have plenty of room to run still, right? I think you have easily 8% left in this tank, 10% left in this tank. But it is far above your risk. You're risking 8%. So, again, this is an intermediate play. If you trust yourself, if you're like, I can read this bad boy like the back of my freaking hand. It's gold and silver. It's going to be consistent. I wanted to get it at 258. If you want to take it at 272, that's fine. The POC is a very strong support. You're above it, but I would not be shocked if it comes back down. So let's see what it does tomorrow. But USAS is a great setup. And there you have it, all the plays for the day. 8 great beginner ones, a bunch extra, 12, 13 other great intermediate trades. Again, if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. It does mean a lot to me. If you really enjoy the content, I'm not taking anything off YouTube, but premium content is available on the Discord and the Patreon. It's all there for you. They get morning briefings, early access to videos, a newsletter every single night of the plays I want to go over. All that kind of good stuff. Not too expensive. But again, no pressure. I'm not, you know, fiending for anybody else to join. I got the 200 folks, that's all I really wanted. I'll probably cap it at 250. And then if you wanted to get in, you got to wait. So it's looking really good. I'm really enjoying it. Great stuff. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another watch list. Have a good rest of your day. See you.